I'll be honest with you guys. I think sneaky underrated pick for a potential cup winner, the Vegas Golden Knights
Okay.
against the Minnesota Wild. Um, we could just jump right into it, guys. Marquee matchup for this series.
Okay, I'm gonna go with a little bit something understated, I guess. It's not really what you would think when you're comparing these two teams, but I'm gonna compare the shutdown centers here. I'm looking at William Karlsson and Joel Eriksson Ek. They're not going to be shutting each other down, I don't think, but I want to see who does a better job at shutting down the other team's MVP type player, right?
Hmm.
So Kaprizov would have been in that Hart mix had he played the full season. Obviously got a bit derailed, but he was on that trajectory. And Jack Eichel talked about him over 90 points. Those are the two guys that I want to see who can be shut down better by. Joel Eriksson Ek, William Karlsson, two Swedish defensemen. They honestly finished with so like they both dealt with their own health concerns this year. I think they both got into like 40, 50 games.
Hmm.
Yeah, William Karlsson, 53 games played, 9 goals, 29 points. Joel Eriksson Ek, 46 games played, 14 goals, 29 points. So same amount of points on the year, but they play similar roles. And I want to see who does a better job at executing as the shutdown C.
Okay.
Awesome.
I like it.
Um, so I've got an X factor here for both teams. My X factor for the Vegas Golden Knights is very obvious. It's Jack Eichel. He's
Hmm.
the leading point producer of the team. On the on the power play, Eichel seventh in the NHL with 34 power play points. That's going to be big in this series because there's only one team in these playoffs that have a worse on face worst power play penalty kill, and it's the Minnesota Wild at
Yeah.
72.4%. Like that is, you're hovering around like the Sharks and the Blackhawks. Like that's
Yeah.
not great company to be around. Sorry, Mando.
No, you're
Um,
good.
but there's also a Vegas power play that is, they're pretty electric. Electric. They're in the top five for power play, and I know power play penalty kill isn't the be all end all, but Jack Eichel 5-on-5 as well. This year he had his lowest amount of offensive shift percentage in his career at 19.3%, but his highest amount of defensive zone starts at 15.7%. He was a plus 60 on ice goal differential this year, which is unbelievable. And it blows out his previous career high of 41 set in 2022. When Jack Eichel is healthy and on the ice, he is a difference maker. And I know we saw that with the points this year, but offensively and defensively, the guy is an absolute workhorse. And I can't wait to see what he has in store for this playoff series because he,
Yeah.
I think personally, is the biggest. He's the biggest spark if the Golden Knights want to make a conference finals to cup final run this year.
Hmm.
Um,
I was a big believer that he should have won the Conn Smythe that year that Vegas won the cup. It went to
he definitely had a
Marchessault.
chance. He definitely had a good
I
chance.
think Eichel finished second, but yeah, he would have got my vote, and I'd say like this is the best hockey he's played since that
Oh yeah.
playoff run, like without a doubt, without a
Yeah,
doubt. I've got some the special team stats if you want to hear them. To your
yeah.
point, Dave,
Give me them. Yeah,
Vegas power play, second on the year, third since Four Nations. Penalty kill, 26th on the year, 25th since Four Nations. Not great.
not great.
Minnesota side, their power play, 20th on the year, 10th since Four Nations. So they have a little bit of steam picking up. But the penalty kill, 30th on the season, 24th since Four Nations. So
A
you're right.
bit
Like
better,
Vegas, if
but
they just get to the box, like if both teams are in the box often, that goes in Vegas's favor.
100%. And then I'm gonna jump over to the Wild here. Their biggest X factor for me is Brock Faber. So like I mentioned before with Thomas Harley, Brock Faber, he won't have as big of a workload that Thomas Harley's gonna have, but he's gonna really need to improve and elevate his game. His point production from this year to last year went down from 47 points last year to 29. And a lot of people are saying like he's got a real taxing workload. The guy's playing 25 plus minutes a night, especially in the last couple of weeks. His giveaways have increased. His takeaways have kind of decreased a little bit. And there's already talks of Zeev Buium kind of coming in and manning the first power play QB, which is crazy because the guy has one NHL game of experience so far. Just ridiculous to me. He's got a minus 8.1 on ice expected goal differential, which I don't know if you want to see that from your number one D-man, but he's going to need to be a spark for getting by the Vegas Monstars, because that is a big team. They are a hungry team. They're quick and they're big as well. Like, that's not a great combination for a Minnesota team that is slightly undersized. I'm looking at like a Marco Rossi as well. He was my honorable mention X-Factor, because they do need a little bit of depth scoring, and getting Marco Rossi maybe off the schneid wouldn't be that great of that bad of an idea. And he's had not a great stretch to end the year as well. And this is a guy that is also a bit undersized, and we know how undersized players can be in the playoffs. They are either electric or they kind of turn into a ghost. So for Marco Rossi's sake, he wants to maybe be the former rather than the latter. But for me, the X factor of this series is going to be Brock Faber and how he elevates his game in the playoffs.
It's crazy the fact that he's a sophomore and like he's getting so much. I mean, rightfully so. He's getting a lot of praise, and Minnesota's known for having these defensive core that are basically all underrated. Like, they're not huge offensive monsters. You got your Spurgeons, you got your Brodins, now you got your Fabers, and you likely have your Buyams, who will probably be one of the more offensive players of that back end. But Faber's been doing it since his first game, but he's only played 160 games in the NHL, if. So I love the take. It's crazy that he's getting so, he's just such a great player already off the bat. And obviously he's going to be tested early. In terms of a blame game for Vegas, I'm taking just the fact that maybe they just don't play their style. I don't know. I mean, they're the second heaviest team in the NHL. So their average height of their blue line, as we know, is 6'3". This has been documented. They're a massive squad. They've got Keegan Colasar. They have Ivan Barbashev. He's a brick you-know-what house. And players like that, I think Minnesota's one of the smallest teams. You highlighted it there, Dave, with Marco Rossi being a smaller player. Kirill Kaprizov, I think, is 5'11". I know he's built
Frederick
as
Gaudreau
well.
is definitely under 6 foot.
Right? They have a pretty small D core. I think Jared Spurgeon's a pretty small player as well. They have a smaller team, and Vegas is massive. So they're expected to hopefully bang and crash as much as possible. And for some reason, I just think, Vegas has done this before. We've talked about their blue line in the past couple of years. I just think that they absolutely dominate the Wild in terms of a physical game. And unless they decide to get cute and try and play Minnesota's game and maybe slow the game down and try something different, I just think if they lose, it'll be a bit of a shock, the Vegas Golden Knights. And I think it'll be people being they didn't play physical. They didn't play the way that Vegas is meant to play. On the Minnesota side, I do think I feel so bad for the Wild. And I almost, it's weird because they're the state of hockey, right? And I know they're one of the newer teams in the NHL, at least one of the newer third teams. But they're the state of hockey, and I feel like I never hear from their fans a lot. Their fans, I think a lot of the Minnesota people living in Minnesota are big fans of hockey in general. They have Minnesota U or U of Minnesota, the high school championship games and stuff. So maybe they're just more of a hockey nation and they're less concerned about the Wild, which is a bit of an oxymoron there. But they've just never made any noise in the playoffs. And it just feels like another year where it's not going to happen. Maybe you guys have Minnesota as your pick. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I think go ahead.
I got Minnesota winning the cup. No, definitely.
Is that more based on just the Minnesota, we call them the Minnesota Mild for a reason.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And Mando used the term state of hockey. I would update the term the state of hockey mediocrity. That's what it is, right? That is what it is. But I am not about to suggest that there isn't a sleeping giant in terms of a fan base there. And like you said, they're passionate, but they should be among the best of the best, and that is within them. I have no doubt about that. Like you said, though, it's not the year. It's still not the year. This is still the same. It just is.
It's also just a tough matchup in general for them, I think, personally. I can't get behind
And
them.
it's really hard to build a Stanley Cup contender when you have 14 million, and I think this is the last year
Dead cap,
that they've got all this dead cap space, right? Like it's tough. And when you think about it in that perspective, this is like they are exceeding expectations, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
Not even just that, but I think it should be mentioned, like, two of their top offensive performers this year missed lengthy amount of times through injury, and they both just got back recently, especially Kirill Kaprizov. Like, Joel Eriksson Ek is in this camp as well. He's been fine since return. Like, he's been good, I would say.
He's got more in there too, though. He showed last year that he's like not just the shutdown guy; he can produce.
He's
100%.
He scored 4 goals, I think, this year in one of the games. The game against Minnesota. A game against the Sharks, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it the San Jose? Yeah.
It was,
Damn, Sharks catching strays in every single series preview. But like Dave, even on the back end too, man. Like Spurgeon played 66 games, Middleton played 67, Brodin played 50. Like this is a tough year. This is like they've overcome adversity this year. They should be at the end of the year, like the blame game. Like, really, Minnesota, wipe yourself of all blame. Like, you did what you could this year, right?
And that's a good way to kind of transition just to my blame game. It's hard to blame them because I don't think they're gonna win, and I don't think they had much of a chance. And maybe it is just the fact that they've overachieved and they started so hot. So I think maybe that's where the disparity is. They had a pretty solid start to the year and obviously lost a lot of their guys. If I had to pick someone, which I did, unfortunately it's Kirill Kaprizov, and he's their guy. I mean, I just think it's you live and die by the guy that's going to get you the points. And he was a Hart Trophy candidate the first 20 games of the season and probably would have remained there if he was healthy all year, like you alluded to, Dave. Minnesota's winning percentage with Kirill in the lineup is 61%. I think it was a lot less when he wasn't in the lineup. I don't have the number specifically, but I know it's pretty significant. Yeah. And I think down the stretch I was reading, I took a little bit from Daily Faceoff here, but John Hines put Kirill Kaprizov, Eriksson Ek, and Matt Boldy together. They're basically their top of their lineup. And to kind of preserve that playoff spot, as you saw, the Blues were hot, the Flames were knocking at the door, even the Canucks at one point were in the mix. So they had to kind of put all their resources and pool them together. And in terms of scoring chances, when those three players were together, it was 74-37 in favor of Minnesota when they were playing as a line. So you could name any three of those guys on the line, but I still think Matt Boldy is just coming into who he is, and he's getting a little bit more excitement now. Joel Eriksson Ek is more of a two-way guy, so I think you can not fault him if he can shut down those other guys like you were talking about earlier, Christian. But Kaprizov is there to score and to put the puck in the net, and if he doesn't, that's Minnesota's only chance. So I think they won't get the blame, but if I had to blame someone, it's Kaprizov, unfortunately.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well said.
Who's the pick here, boys?
Quick predict. Are we going to go unanimous here? Do we all have Vegas?
Yep.
Yeah.
How many games do we have Vegas in for? I've got for 5.
We've got 5 here, brother.
Got 5. Clean sweep here, guys.
Oof.
One thing I want to say on the state of Minnesota mild, John Hines. He's another one of those guys for me that mild coach.
Yeah.
Like they hired a Minnesota mild coach. We never touched on the goalies, and all I want to say is it's a saw-off. Aiden Hill, Gustafsson, it's about even for me. Yeah. I think that's right.
I think that's
fair. That's fair enough. I do like Philip Gustafsson, though. I think they have a chance
had a good year.
He's like standing on his head, so they might have to rely on him a little bit more.